A few months ago, I had a really powerful experience. I had this idea, this dream, this moment of, wow, if I do this, it's going to change everything. And then, pretty quickly afterwards, I started getting scared. Started thinking, can I really do this? Is it going to work? What are people going to think? Can I pull this off? You've probably had an experience before like that. So, what was I thinking? Well, I started dreaming, envisioning hosting a King's initiation retreat, taking a group of men to the mountains, men that are already powerful, already successful, and are just on the cusp of really creating the biggest impact they're capable of, really stepping into their leadership and being the men that they're capable of being. And so, of course, it's a pretty big step up for me to host that kind of experience, so got a little bit doubtful. And I knew in that moment I needed to use one of my favorite secret weapons. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What is that secret weapon? And more importantly, how can you use it in your life to get the results that you're capable of? So, the secret weapon is a simple word called commitment. Now, commitment is funny because on the one hand, it is so powerful and it really does change the game in a massive way. And it's also not very sexy. No one gets super excited about commitment. But as I'm going to talk about today, it really does make a difference, and it's perhaps the missing piece in your life. Because if right now you have goals, you have aspirations, you have things you dream of that are not quite coming to fruition, I want to propose is that it's because you haven't fully committed. You haven't pushed your chips in the middle. And when we don't do that, when we're not fully all in, a few things happen. For one, that little voice in your head that says you might not be able to do it, oh, it's too hard, I got other things to do, it's not going to stop. And that's really distracting, isn't it? The other thing is that people will not be as attracted to you as if you're fully committed. Let's say, especially in business, you're calling up people and you're like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm all in, you want to be part of it? People are like, yeah. But if they feel like you're half in, it's not going to work. And more importantly, in those moments when you hit obstacles, when it gets difficult, and if we're talking about a project that is really going to change the game for you, that's going to take your life to the next level, I promise you there will be obstacles. That's the nature of the beast. It is difficult. Well, if you're not fully committed in those moments, you're going to fold. It's probably happened to you before and it's going to happen again. So if commitment is so powerful, and you've made commitments before and you've hopefully experienced that it really does make a big difference, why aren't we doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Well, there's this thing called fear of commitment. You've probably heard about it. But have you ever stopped to think, what is that really? How does it work? Why does that happen? Well, I think there's two main reasons. Number one, when we are thinking about committing to something, there's this fear that if I commit, but a few weeks from now, a few months from now, I realize this is not really my path, I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to be trapped in that path because I'm committed. Oh no. That's one reason, and we'll address that specifically in a few minutes of how you can override that and not be stuck in that fear. The second one, and it's a little bit more insidious, is the fear that if you commit, if you go all in and you don't reach your goal, that's going to be really confronting to your ego. Because when you're not really committed, at least you have an excuse. It's like, well, I didn't get it, but I didn't really try. So to your ego, that's safe. It's like, ooh, it's not really me. It's just I didn't really try. But if you're fully committed and you come up short, now it's all on you. And now you might have some real sort of revaluation and deep introspection to do to figure out why it didn't happen. And that's difficult. That's challenging. So I get it. I've had my own experiences with commitment of times where I have committed and gotten extraordinary results and times where I didn't and things kind of fizzled out. With this particular story, with this retreat that I was thinking about holding, I remember I was in the sensory deprivation tank, which is actually right before this, behind this curtain, and I was thinking, you know what? This is one of those moments. If I'm going to do this, it's going to take every last bit of me. I know I can pull it off, but it's going to require every last ounce of my being because it is a new level. It's a new challenge I'm throwing to myself. So in that moment, I had two choices. One, go all in, put my chips in the middle. Two, go all out. Say, you know what? I actually don't want to do this. It's not that important. I'm going to drop it. So I sat thinking about how I'm floating. Yeah, I want to do this. I'm willing to go all in. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That was a very sacred moment, a very special moment, because in that moment, there's no going back. There's no exit. I'm on the highway. I'm going to do this. It's happening. So immediately I committed to one, picking a date. This is when it's happening. May 5th to the 7th. Okay. And I'm going to book the retreat center. 2, I decided to hire a coach. One of my mentors who I knew would be the perfect person to support me with that project. Gave him a call, say, hey, I'd love to, or I'd send a message, say, hey, I'd love to set up a call and do some work together. And 3, I made a list of 20 men who would be great fit for this retreat and made a schedule of when I was going to reach out to each man. Boom, now it's committed. Now it's time for magic to happen. Now I want to turn it over to you. So it's all nice, it's all good theory here, but let's make this real. What is one area of your life, one project, one thing that is important to you where right now you are half in? Half in means that you want to get results, you want to have an experience, but you're not fully all in. Let's give you an example. Let's say fitness. So it's the start of summer right now. Maybe you want to get in the best shape of your life this summer. But because you're half in, when you feel good, you go to the gym or you go work out. But days when you're a little bit tired or you're a little bit busy, you don't go. That's being half in. You might be in a relationship where you're half in. You know, when you feel like it, you spend time with a person, you're excited. But some other moments you just kind of disconnect or withdraw and not really invest yourself in putting the effort necessary to make this an amazing relationship. That's being half in. So what is one area of your life right now where you're like, yeah, I'm kind of half in? Can you think of one? Good. So now we get asked an important question. Do you want to be all in or do you want to be all out? Both are fine. If you decide to be all in, we're going to have to work on specific items, and we'll do that right now or in a second. If you decide to be all out, I just want to make it clear that's fine, because that's going to clear up some space, some energy in your life, and you're going to be off the hook. You don't have to think about like, I kind of want this, but no. Just drop it. So assuming you want to go all in, there are 3 components that make a commitment sacred and powerful and effective. Number 1, you have to be clear. If you're committing to your fitness, what does that mean? How often are you going to work out? What kind of workouts are you going to do? Are you going to have a group, a coach, a trainer? Make it clear. I'm going to work out 5 times a week with a trainer after work at that particular gym. Okay, good. Now that's clear. 2, it helps a lot to have accountability or support. So in this case, it's having a trainer. Could be a friend that you go to the gym with. Could be if you join a CrossFit gym, you're going to have a group that you train with, you're going to have a coach. So the second thing is accountability of support. Having a team, having other people on this journey with you so it's not all relying on your own willpower. Makes it a lot easier. And the third one is you have to set up a time frame. You know, a few minutes ago I told you that when it comes to fear of commitment, a lot of people hesitate because they feel like, oh, if I make this commitment, I'm going to be stuck forever. So instead of making this kind of forever binding contract with yourself, create a time frame. So back to our fitness example, I'm going to commit to 5 times a week with a trainer at this gym at this time for the next 3 months. 3 months is something you can commit to. It doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel like you're signing your life away, but it's enough to get real results. And then in 3 months, you can pause and reevaluate. Be like, all right, do I want to recommit? Do I want to alter the structure a little bit? Or, you know what, I had my fun training. Now I want to focus on something else, so I'm dropping the commitment to fitness. That's also a possibility. So 1, clarity. These are the components. 2, support, accountability, having the people that hold you up, that have your back. And 3, a time frame. When it comes to your situation, try to think about those 3. You can do it right now, you can pause the video, you can do it after, but put those 3 elements in place and now you've got recipes for success. Now you're on the highway and there's no exits. So to come back to my story and to tell you a little bit about what happens when you do that. So this happened last weekend or 2 weekends ago. I'm in a room with my brothers, we're standing up, we're holding hands, and it's a very sacred moment. I'm looking around, there's 11 of us. And we just finished an amazing day at the retreat. Very, very powerful. And I look around and I see these men and I just feel this huge burst of gratitude. Because this idea, this vision that was just a thing in my mind a few months ago was real. We were here. These men had flown from all over the country to be a part of this experience, and I knew that the work we were doing was life-changing for them and for me. And I felt so grateful for my commitment, because without it, it would never have happened. This was too challenging a project. I would have gotten scared. I would have gotten distracted. I would keep pushing it off, whatever. I would have found a way out. But because I was committed, it happened, and it was so amazing. So I want to invite you to be the kind of person who makes those commitments. You don't have to commit to a million things, but the things that are important to you, the things that can take your life to the next level, the things that really can bring you up to the kind of reality that you desire, make that commitment. Be the kind of person who has the balls, who has the courage to go all in, and then make it happen. You're going to have more fun, you get better results, and people are going to feel that, and they're going to want to be around you, because most people don't have it, but when they find someone who is committed, they want to be part of the magic. That's just how it works. So that's it. That's my message for you today. Hope it resonated. More importantly, I hope that you're going to run with this and start committing, because it really is the way to go. So that's it. I'm sending you all my love from here in the mountains of Colorado. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon. Bye.